Hi folks, today I have for us a video from Auditing America, where he goes to the ICE protests and tries to get one of the protesters arrested. But before we start today's video, a big thank you to all of my current and new channel members and subscribers. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going, so I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the page, leave a like and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out my second channel, NCR Movie Network, and the podcast, the Craptown Florida Man Power Rankings. Episode 40 is out right now. And a quick word from today's sponsor at Aura. I want to talk to you about Aura. In today's world of frauditors filming banks, scam callers, people using card skimmers, and data brokers buying and selling your data, you need to make sure your data is safe. And Aura can help. By going to aura.com/NCR, they are offering you a free 14-day trial. That's enough time for Aura to start getting your data off these data brokering websites without you having to lift a finger. In 2024 alone, there were more than 1.7 billion data breach notices issued out in the U.S. In fact, a family member of mine had a data breach in 2024 and didn't realize until this year alone. Aura is your all-in-one digital security, offering real-time alerts for your credit and banking, and if any of your information is found on the dark web, parental controls for your family, and a free VPN and antivirus if you ever use public Wi-Fi. I use Aura myself, and within hours of signing up, they were already sending me notifications that my data was being removed from data brokers. So, scan the QR code or go to aura.com/NCR or click the link in the description box to get your free 14-day trial, which you can cancel at any time. That's aura.com/NCR for your free 14-day trial. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video, and with all that being said, let's enjoy today's video.
Okay guys, so we're right here with Officer Castañeda and Officer Juarez and Officer Renteria and Officer Miramontes, and they all have something in common, guys. And it's not their uniform, it's not their badges, it's not their German Shepherds, their guns, or their pepper spray. They all have one thing in common, and it's that they betrayed their own country for us here in the United States. And now they betray the United States for the country that they betrayed in the first place.
With all due respect, what the fuck are you talking about?
You guys are all tyrants, all right? I asked for help and you didn't help me, right? No problem. No problem. And they all have something in common. They are all Mexican. They're all Mexican. And I don't have nothing against Mexican people, but we have a crowd of people who are facing possible deportation. Hundreds of people just walk down this road while blocking the streets, while being disorderly and making threats.
Well, we didn't see anybody do that because you don't show that. However, there are a lot of peaceful protesters walking down the street marching against the ICE raids. But that's well within their rights and it's protected. The police are blocking off the street so nobody gets hurt. But what does the cops' race have to do with anything? You're assuming they're Mexican. They could be El Salvadorian, Honduran, Guatemalan, Mexican. It doesn't matter what their race is. They are American. That's what's important. And saying that they're tyrants and that they betrayed one country for another and now are betraying that same country makes no sense.
Did nothing about it. They are protecting illegals when they're taking over our streets. This is the walk of shame for you guys. You know that, right? You know that, right? That's the walk of shame.
Would you shut the fuck up?
Community, you guys are terrible. Shame on you. I want to speak to a supervisor. It's your policy to contact the supervisor if I need one. So contact your supervisor. Contact your supervisor. I really want a supervisor.
77-0165.
I'm a senior officer. What do you need?
Okay, so there's a man right there that threatened to physically remove me from the street and also made a possible threat to our president.
Dramatization may not have happened.
All right, look, I got a message for Donald Trump, Tom Homan, and Steve Miller and the rest of the KKK Klansmen that sit in the Oval Office. That's right. This is my message to them. You tell them. They are currently in the fuck around and find out stages when it comes to barrios such as Boyle Heights, Barrio Logan, Sacramento, Minnesota. They're gonna find out that we don't play games out here. Okay, because we've been fighting for decades. This is a language that we are much more well versed in than they will ever be, right? We have been fighting for decades, and we're gonna continue to fight. We're no longer gonna be on the defense. We're gonna take the fight to them. Because what do we do when our communities are under attack?
Just for my video, quick question. I heard the message that you say to President Trump. Don't you think some people that may be watching these videos consider that you made some sort of threat?
Well, some people could consider that a threat, but there was no actual threats of violence made. There was what could be considered implied violence. And I understand where these protesters are coming from. They don't want to see their family and friends deported if they're here illegally. They want to be with them. But you have to understand that if you cross the borders or you overstay a visa, you are breaking the law. And I get this from multiple angles, not only being an American, but being of Latino origin. We don't want to see people get hurt, but nobody's making any claims of violence. They are protesting legally. They are doing that. And if they want to make statements like that, as long as they're not calling for direct violence, that would be considered perfectly fine and covered under the First Amendment.
Towards the president, and I mean, I would assume it's a peaceful threat or a peaceful statement, but I mean, I wouldn't want you to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Well, while they're attacking our communities violently, and all we're doing is advocating for self-defense. That's it. So if people have a problem with us, so in other words, it sounds like the argument is we have to allow them to beat us and we can't do anything in response. I mean, I'm not going to stand by that, you know. So they are preemptively attacking us by using ICE to kidnap our community members, and all this is a response to the attack.
Okay, so you would you would say that and I'm just asking for news purposes.
You're not even a real journalism. That's right,
brother. You know, I would understand that you're saying that if you or any of your family members were to be there would be an attempt to deport any of you or of your family, you would act in a quote-unquote self-defense and fight back violently, or would you protest the legal, lawful way?
Well, self-defense, you know, looks different for different people, you know. I'm sorry, what was the last part? Did you say fight back the legal way?
Well, yeah, like standing, like what you guys are doing now. You know, you're doing a legal gathering, and you guys are exercising your free speech.
Well, the question of legality is irrelevant in my opinion, because remember, let's look at history. It was legal to own slaves, right? It didn't make it right to be a slave owner, though. It was also illegal for women to vote. So the question of legality is irrelevant, right?
Well, legality is important to what you're saying, Because if you're advocating for people to violently attack the ICE agents and police officers conducting the raids, that would be illegal. That's not self-defense. If you are talking about self-defense in a way of protesting and filing lawsuits, then yes. But nobody's going to justify owning slaves. Slave ownership was wrong because nobody owns the right to own another human being. And giving women the right to vote, the 19th Amendment, was important because it gave women a voice that they fought for peacefully through peaceful protests. Trying to equate the legalities of self-defense to stop somebody who has a deportation order is not going to help. You can fight for them. You can petition for them. You can protest for them. The peaceful legal route. Because if you go for violence, you're not protesting. You're committing riots. You're committing anarchy. You're not helping your movement. You're only hurting it.
So I'm saying we're going to defend our communities by any means necessary, right? And if people want to interpret that as violence, as it makes no difference. We're here to defend ourselves and our community, our family members, right? So yeah.
While having a microphone right there and everybody's clapping and I'm like, where the hell's the police?
Okay.
And then
Go
I come on.
Go report it to Los Angeles Police Department.
What do you mean go report it? You're a cop.
Okay.
You report it.
Okay. Well, you're not going to get a sergeant. So we'll
Why not?
Because our sergeants are tied up.
Why do you mean tied up? That they made a threat to the president. Call them.
Okay.
Shenanigans.
No.
Shenanigans.
No.
And we're calling shenanigans, folks, because, yes, while his speech may have been charged, there was no actual threats of violence. It's not considered a violent threat. It could be interpreted that way, but there was no actual threats made. And with Anselmo here trying to say that this is a violent threat and that he was threatened and forced away, we didn't see any of that. Yes, that guy may have a point of view that may not be popular with a lot of people, but it's his First Amendment right to say that stuff. As long as he's not calling for direct harm or acts of violence, he can make those statements.
Okay, we'll take care of it. Just be on
Take
your way.
care of what?
We'll take care of it. Be on your way.
What do you mean be on your way?
There's no crime committed.
Yes, there is. I have proof of it on my video.
Okay.
What the hell are you
Somebody
talking
can
about?
verbalize whatever they want.
No one
Okay,
can make
yes,
threats.
it's free speech.
No one.
It's free
Once you
speech.
talk about violence, it's not free speech.
Okay.
What kind of cop are you? Senior cop?
Yes.
What's the Third Amendment?
It's free speech.
What's the
Be on
Third
your way.
Amendment?
Thank you.
That's the walk of shame to me. And you guys gonna stand here and wait till I beg for help? I gotta request a supervisor. Shame on you. I want a supervisor.
I want to speak to your
I want a supervisor. Wow! I bet you Donald Trump is not gonna fucking like this. And by the way, we have over 100 million people that tuned into our platform. By the way.
Hey, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
So I bet you our president's not gonna like that. I bet you our president's not gonna like that. Cops do nothing, Mr. President. Cops do nothing, Mr. President. Don't trust every cop in America, Mr. President. They don't protect you as much as you think, Mr. President.
Well, he would be protected by the Secret Service, the CIA, and local law enforcement. But you're trying to make it sound as if this guy was trying to threaten the president. Yes, he made some inflammatory comments, but no direct calls of violence. I'm not trying to go political on this, but it seems like you don't like the fact that these people are using their First Amendment rights to speak out. It sounds like you're trying to silence them. But that's a bit hypocritical because you're a First Amendment auditor. You're supposed to be a champion for the First Amendment, not just yours, but everybody's. This seems a bit hypocritical on your part, sir.
They don't protect you as much as you think, Mr. President. Look, I'm the only person standing up for you over here, Mr. President. The only person. You guys are all tyrants. 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 Wow, this is what you rely on over here in California, Mr. President. You already know these people don't like you. Every single cop was Mexican, standing up for these people over here, taking over our streets. This is not freedom of speech. They haven't earned that. They haven't earned that.
There is something funny about this. He's trying to say that just because they're here, they don't have a right to have a First Amendment protection using their freedom of speech. They're here in this country. They could be legal, they could be illegal, but we have a God-given right, and our Constitution protects our freedom of speech. As a champion of that, you should be fighting for that. Yes, you can't make direct threats of violence. You can't call for violent acts to be done to somebody, but they're not doing that. Yeah, that guy who was on the microphone may have said some things that may piss people off, but that's his right. He has a right to say that. And it's also racist to assume that they're here illegally, that they're all Mexican. They could be another nationality. They could be El Salvadorian, Honduran, Guatemalan. They could be Mexican. They could be Cuban. They could be Puerto Rican. You don't know these people personally, and you're calling them all Mexican. That is highly racist, and you should know that being a Latino.
We have freedom of speech.
And?
You're a tyrant. I'm gonna expose you. What's your name?
What's that?
What's your name?
Officer Duarte.
Officer Duarte.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're a cop, right? It doesn't matter what he says. You're a cop. You're about doing the right thing, right? So if I show you a video of a crime being committed or somebody making a threat towards our president, you would investigate that, right? You wouldn't tell me to go away, right? If I tell you I have a video of somebody from that crowd possibly committing a crime, you would investigate that, right? As a state officer.
The issue is, what did he say that would be illegal? Again, he's not making direct calls for violence against a specific person. He's not saying that they should go and try to harm the president. What he is saying is that they will defend their communities, they will defend their people. And that legality is something that would have to be decided by the courts. From what we saw, what he said is falling under First Amendment protections. But why are you so butthurt? Are you mad that they didn't want you to be a part of their protest? Did you say something to offend somebody? Did you provoke somebody to respond to you? Because you're saying they chased you away and threatened you, but we didn't see any of that. All we saw is what you showed us with your edits.
You're California Highway Patrol. You guys can investigate city cops. And you don't want to do nothing about it? You want to protect the exit? So that people can go and commit crimes? So Duarte, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Would you investigate this? Would you investigate this? If I showed you the video, there's a gentleman down there that made a threat to me to physically remove me from a public area.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
And he possibly made a threat to our president. So you need to investigate that, Duarte. Are you willing to do that? This is very serious. You guys think this is a joke? This is very, very serious. I don't think you've been in a more serious situation than this one. So who's gonna investigate? Who's gonna investigate? Because I'm gonna drive myself to the fucking department and speak to your lieutenant or to your chief or whoever's higher up, and I'm gonna show them the video of you refusing to help and you refusing to call your supervisor. So which one is it gonna be, officer? Are you gonna investigate or not? Are you guys gonna investigate or not? You're not gonna investigate, are you? You're a tyrant, Duarte. You're part of the problem.
Come here. Shut your stupid ass up.
And don't you ever disrespect me wearing $3 sunglasses, you heard? You seen the guy that does those videos? Hey, you guys want to do a real story? So Telemundo's here, guys. Yesterday's story had 49,000 viewers on it. We have over 100 million views combined on our platform. This is Telemundo, guys. Part of the problem. Part of the problem, right here, Telemundo. These guys right here would not report the truth. So that's why they're called fake media by our president. So, what's so funny?
They're laughing at the walking joke that you are. I mean, nobody cares about the millions of collected views you have on your platform. I mean, looking at the video counts on your channel, the view counts on them, I should say, they don't get the numbers you say they do. You're saying that, oh, there's millions of people watching us right now. No, they're not. I mean, hell, the last video I did on you when I recorded it only had 5,000 views. It might have more after that, but it doesn't have the hundreds of thousands that you claim. You're not making any real news stories here. You're just a frauditor. You're calling other people tyrant. You're trying to silence other people's First Amendment rights. Yes, we've heard the president make comments about other news outlets being fake news and not real media, but the same could be applied to you. You're not a real journalist. You're not putting out anything of journalistic endeavor. You're just putting out videos on YouTube.
What's so funny? You guys are all fake news. You're part of the problem. There's people breaking the law here. None of these people have earned freedom of speech. Not in our country, maybe in Mexico, but not here. You don't take over our streets and make threats on a microphone towards our president, right? You don't do that. You would never report that, Telemundo. Why? Because you guys are part of the problem. You guys are part of the problem. And you too. Yes, you have the right to do that, fool. You have the right to do that. Why don't you post that? You better get the fuck out of my face. Yeah, don't put that in my face. So,
here we have another instant of a frauditor getting a taste of his own medicine by having a camera put in his face. And yet he doesn't like it, but yet he'll still do it to everybody else. This is just like what happened with Silence Boy in the video I covered this week. You know, somebody puts a camera on him and he runs to the cops. You're telling him you have a right to do that, but then you're saying that he doesn't have a right to do it. So which is it? Is he protected under the First Amendment or is he not? Does he have a First Amendment right? Because he does. You frauditors are such hypocrites. You only care about your First Amendment rights, nobody else's.
why don't you report the truth, Telemundo? With your fake stories. That's the long walk of shame for you guys. That's the long walk of shame for you guys. You need to get deported too. Every single one of you. You want to come to our country and try to take over it and make fake stories? You guys are as bad as everyone else.
And we're ending it here, folks. The video does continue on for a few more seconds of him calling them tyrants and fake news. You know, he's saying that they need to be deported. How do you know they're here illegally? You don't know that. They could have a work visa and working for Telemundo covering the news. This just proves that a frauditor does not care about the First Amendment. He may call himself a First Amendment advocate, but he's truly not. He only cares about his First Amendment rights and nobody else's. So if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out my second channel and the podcast. With all that being said, be well be safe, and I will see you guys next time. And a special thank you to all members of the news team. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going. So I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. You guys mean the world to me, and I can never thank you enough for all the encouragement you guys give. You guys rock.